Let's start the ball rolling with Jay Lee. Why was Paul Gallen not sent off for punching Nate Miles in Origin 1?
Good question. That's probably... I think if Paul Gallen got sin-binned, like most thought he should have for flying fists, we would have probably all been happy. And I'm still happy. But I don't think it was a send-off.
Offence?
Yeah, I don't think so. Do you?
Not a complete send-off, but no, I was sitting there talking to my son. I said, he'll go to the bin for that for 10.
Yeah, I think most players would have gone to the bin. I think that's where the referees basically have drawn a line in the stand and said, well, you know...
Well, if anyone throws a punch in Origin 2 and 3, they can't be sent off now.
Well,
surely.
Well, judging by the precedent, they shouldn't be, but they will be.
Yeah, they've changed the rules, haven't they?
They have, so which is a shame because you imagine, just say for instance, Nate Miles hits Paul Gallen in Origin 2 and gets sent off. I wouldn't want to be a referee up at Suncorp.
Might be some cans of beer getting
more than cans, be seats.
Okay, Greg Eccleston says, should the NRL pay the Panthers compensation for not allowing Matty Molan to play this weekend?
Look, this Matty Moylan situation is unbelievably hard to explain. I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't think the NRL should pay the Panthers compensation, but they should fix it straight away so that from this weekend on it doesn't happen to any other young kids who are aspiring to be first graders from within their own junior ranks.
Am I right in saying that he wasn't in the top 25 players that the Panthers listed to the NRL?
That's right.
So all his money, every time he gets playing in first grade, goes to the second tier cap. You guys at Panthers were over the second tier cap,
yes.
Which means you now need to move someone out of your top 25, whack him in there because you are under the salary cap on that one.
Again, but there should be dispensations for local juniors.
Of course there should be.
If you're a local junior trying to play first grade, it doesn't matter what or where the second tier comes from.
Just let him play. Darren Morris, MG, what do you think of the Ricky Stewart situation of informing players that they won't be needed next year? If you haven't caught up on this story, he basically put a list up in a team meeting up on a notice board, overhead projector, and it had, you're here next year, maybe you're here next year, and you're not here next year, for the whole squad to see. So some people have criticised him for that. Other people said, you know what, they need a shock out there at Para just to pull their fingers out, and maybe this is Ricky's way of doing it.
Look, he's entitled to it that way because he's the boss, but it's not the way I would have done it.
What would you have done?
I would have told the blokes individually, look, you're not in my plans for next year. And he probably did do that. But, by all reports, a lot of the senior players whose name were on the board were reduced to tears because they couldn't believe the way that was handled. And, that's not a way to handle any club. And that's not a way to gain respect from your peers. When your players are your peers as a coach. You've got to get their respect more than anybody's. And I just hope that this doesn't affect Ricky Stewart long term. That he was that coach who informed his players they weren't wanted by the overhead projector. Ricky Stewart is a good coach and he's a competitor. But I think even he would say to himself today, and with Ken Edwards, the boss of Parramatta, there's probably a better way we could have done it.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions you got for MG? Make sure you let us know and we might read out your questions and get the big man to answer them next week in Rugby League Week.